There comes a moment along the path when the soul begins to move from a completely different place. It's no longer the mind seeking meaning, nor the body longing for stability. It's something far deeper, a kind of inner fire that ignites without your consent or planning. It arises spontaneously, as if something ancient within you has stirred awake after a long, silent slumber. It's not euphoria or motivation. It's a vibration, primal and intense, that shakes you from the inside and changes your entire way of being in the world. This fire does not burn to destroy. It reveals. It doesn't push you forward. It awakens you. And when it begins to activate, everything that is not truly you starts to fall away. You can no longer lie to yourself. You can no longer hide behind roles or routines. Your soul begins to remember why it came here in the first place. And this memory, though it doesn't come with words, feels like a silent urgency that shifts everything. One of the first signs is an inner impulse that you can't quite explain, but also can't ignore. It doesn't come from logic or external goals. It's a call that vibrates straight from your chest, a fire that doesn't ask for permission. It appears suddenly, like something inside you has been waiting for far too long to be lit, and now refuses to remain dormant. This impulse might not always have a clear shape, but it has direction. It moves you toward what is real and alive. It pulls you away from whatever dims your light, no matter how familiar or secure. And even if the world doesn't understand why you're changing, you do. You're not searching for something new. You're responding to something ancient that has always been there, waiting. That impulse doesn't come with a map, but it's unmistakable. It may not tell you exactly what to do, but it makes it absolutely clear what you can no longer continue doing. You begin to wake up with a soft but persistent discomfort, a kind of restlessness that no longer disappears with distractions. Because it's not about filling voids anymore. It's about acknowledging that something within you is ready to burn, to illuminate, to transform everything from the root. You start to feel that pretending is no longer an option, that remaining in comfort feels like betrayal. You hear a voice deep inside you that can no longer be silenced by logic or numbed by distractions. This voice doesn't scream. It burns. And even if a part of you wishes you could extinguish it to keep fitting in, you know that it's already too late for that. You've crossed an internal threshold. The first spark has been lit. You also begin to notice that what used to satisfy you now frustrates you, not because you've become ungrateful, but because you now see what you couldn't see before, that you were dimming your own light to sustain structures that no longer sustain you. This inner fire doesn't destroy what's outside. It simply makes what isn't aligned unbearable. It pushes you not as punishment, but out of integrity. And though it might hurt, it also liberates. With every step you take in the direction of truth, the fire grows stronger, not as a punishment, but as guidance. You can no longer lull your soul with hollow routines because something within you has been activated, something that doesn't ask for explanation, only space. This fire doesn't arrive to give you certainty. It comes to return you to yourself, to who you were before the masks. It doesn't ask you to know the whole destination, only not to deny yourself the beginning, because once the fire starts to awaken, there's no turning back. The only way forward is to burn with purpose, You also begin to realize that this impulse doesn't need external validation. You're no longer waiting for approval or hoping someone else will understand what you're feeling, because you know from the deepest place within that this fire doesn't belong to anyone else. It's yours. Only now it's becoming visible, and that's what truly changes everything. You're not chasing a goal. You're returning to yourself. Every time you listen to that inner impulse, the fire becomes more distinct. You start choosing differently, not out of obligation or fear, but from a place of expansion. Even when you feel lost, the fire remains like an ember that refuses to be extinguished. And now, more than ever, you are beginning to listen. The second sign comes when you begin to release what once felt essential, and you do so without pain. People, places, habits, even long-held dreams that no longer resonate with who you are now. These things begin to fall away. There's no bitterness, no dramatic farewell. Instead, a quiet clarity settles within you. You might not fully understand the reasons behind this detachment, but you feel deep down that it isn't about loss. It's about cleansing. Your inner fire doesn't just illuminate. It also burns away the things that no longer serve a purpose. And what's most surprising is that in the act of letting go, you don't feel emptiness. You feel light. It's as though everything you release frees up internal space that had been occupied merely out of habit. It no longer hurts as much to step away from what was once part of your life, because now you understand that not everything that has played a role in your story is meant to accompany you in fulfilling your purpose. You no longer carry the weight of the past out of loyalty. You don't continue to hold on to what dims your light just because a part of you still feels guilty. Your inner fire simply makes it impossible to keep ignoring what no longer vibrates with you. This clarity you feel isn't intellectual. It's energetic. What you used to tolerate with effort becomes suffocating, and instead of forcing yourself to stay, you choose to leave. This fire awakens an intolerance for self-deception. You can no longer justify relationships or behaviors that don't align with your truth. And once you see it, you can't go back. What you're letting go of doesn't get erased. You honor it, but you no longer need it. There's no paralyzing nostalgia, only calm gratitude. You recognize that everything that leaves makes room for something more aligned with your present truth. Each act of letting go, when done from a place of authenticity, strengthens the fire within you. Every time you choose loyalty to your inner voice, that fire grows. Because this inner fire isn't sustained by fear or attachment. It's fueled by your choice to prioritize truth over comfort. And you're releasing who you no longer are to make space for who you're about to become. You also begin to notice that every time you release something inside you rearranges. A burden lifts. A new space expands. It's not that letting go has become easy. It's that you can no longer keep holding on without dimming your own light. The fire doesn't negotiate with what doesn't resonate. It doesn't tolerate half-truths. It only responds to what's real in the present moment. And even when the goodbye is silent, you know it's final. You define yourself by the profound act of choosing yourself, by the silent decision not to betray yourself, by the invisible gesture of honoring your evolution even when it hurts. This inner fire is showing you that true loss isn't about losing others. It's about losing yourself, and that's no longer a risk you're willing to take. You also recognize that this kind of release is unlike anything you've experienced before. You're not closing cycles with anger or running to protect yourself. You're letting go from the deep understanding that your energy no longer fits there. And it doesn't have to. You've stopped romanticizing sacrifice. You've learned that your soul did not come here to hold up what's falling apart at the expense of your light. What does it mean to keep holding on to what no longer resonates with you? It's not loyalty. It's abandonment of self. And you've decided to return to yourself. Every renunciation, even the painful ones, becomes a declaration that you deserve peace and that your energy is sacred. The third sign is when you begin to act without asking for permission. You no longer need others' validation to move forward. You don't wait for approval from your environment or for someone to tell you it's the right time. You simply do it, not from impulsiveness, but from an inner force that has become impossible to ignore. A silent certainty pushing you forward even when the full path is still unclear. That fire isn't asking for explanations. It's asking to be embodied. You're not acting to prove anything. You're acting because you can no longer sit still while something inside you begs to be expressed, created, and transformed. You've grown tired of waiting for the perfect conditions. You've realized the perfect moment doesn't appear on its own. It's built from presence, from choice, from the kind of fire that won't go out. You're no longer held back by the doubts of those who don't feel what you feel. You've started honoring your inner impulse as a compass. You've understood that this movement born from within isn't chasing instant results. It's searching for alignment. You also realize that every time you act from that inner flame, your entire energy field responds. You don't need to understand it to know it. You feel it in your chest expanding, in your breath growing lighter in the absence of that tension you used to think was normal. It's not that things become easier. It's that now the hard things no longer paralyze you, because moving with fire means moving with roots, and that makes you unstoppable. You no longer do things out of habit. Every gesture carries intention. Every step holds presence. Because when fire moves you, everything you do leaves a deeper mark. You also realize there's no going back. You can't return to acting from disconnection without your soul feeling it like a wound. Because now you understand the difference between acting from impulse and acting from alignment. And that difference is everything. You've learned that when you move from fire, you don't drain. You expand. You don't lose yourself. You sharpen. You don't hesitate. You move forward even in uncertainty. The fire starts to give you identity. You no longer define yourself by your past, by your roles, or by the story others tell about you. You define yourself by your capacity to move from essence, from that invisible force that no longer fades. That's what purpose is, the exact place where what you feel inside takes shape in the world. And it doesn't matter if no one tells you you're on the right path. You know it not because of results, but because of resonance. Because when your inner fire becomes direction, no doubt can compete with the certainty of a soul set ablaze. The fourth sign appears when your resistance to change begins to dissolve. You no longer fight what is shifting. You stop clinging to the familiar out of fear. Instead of fearing movement, you begin to welcome it openly, not because everything is suddenly clear, but because something within you has understood that the new doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal you. Your inner fire has prepared you to walk through transitions without losing yourself. You also discover that change no longer sweeps you away like it used to. You've stopped searching for stability in external things and are now finding it in your own ability to adapt without dimming your light. Your fire has taught you how to let go without losing your essence, how to move without falling apart, and how to change without betraying yourself. Each transition is no longer a threat, but an activation. You feel something in you grow stronger every time you let go without fear. The fifth sign is when, without really knowing how or why, you begin to vibrate differently. You can't quite explain it. Nothing major has shifted on the outside, but deep inside you feel it. A subtle yet profound change in your energy has taken place. You're not trying harder. You're not forcing anything. Yet there's this undeniable sense that you're standing in a new frequency. You begin to notice that the way you perceive life has changed. Your presence is more grounded. Your thoughts are more clear, and your ability to connect with yourself feels deeper. Even though your external world hasn't caught up yet, you know you're ready because it's not the world that validates this transformation. It's your inner frequency that already carries the evidence of your evolution. As that vibration rises, something powerful begins to happen. You start attracting new experiences. People you've never met before suddenly appear, drawn to the energy you're emitting. Opportunities that feel aligned start flowing into your life. But this isn't happening because you're desperately searching. You're simply no longer in resonance with what once was. The universe has recalibrated your energy, not as a random shift, but as a deliberate preparation. You are being prepared for a life that is more authentic, more expansive, and more aligned with the truth of who you've always been deep within. You're no longer operating from urgency or seeking validation. You simply embody it. You're becoming more attuned to how you feel and less preoccupied with how others perceive you. And that subtle inner shift changes everything. Because when your vibration rises, your reality responds. You begin to witness synchronicities that once went unnoticed. You're seeing on the outside what you've long been cultivating within. You've cleared so much. You've let go of so much. And now the universe is responding not as a reward, but as a reflection. You're no longer available for what depletes you. You're now choosing to stay where you are nourished. You're no longer settling for halfway love. You're stepping into a new way of living, a quieter, yet infinitely more powerful way, because your vibration is no longer begging. It's inviting. And the most beautiful part is you're not waiting for something big to happen in order to feel whole. You already feel it now. What's coming is not arriving to fill a void. It's coming to expand a fullness that you've already recognized within. When the universe prepares you for something extraordinary, it doesn't do it through noise or promises. It prepares you with silence that transforms, with pauses that rearrange, with subtle signs that only the soul can decode. And you, who have walked through so many phases, who have remained true to your essence, are now receiving what was always meant for you, not because you chased it, but because you became it. You are not being delayed. You are being refined. You are not wasting time. You are making space. And what's on its way will not arrive through panic or pressure. It will come through truth, through alignment. And without even realizing it, you're already vibrating in that truth. If this message resonated with you, if you felt something awaken inside you with every word, it's because what's coming is already near. You don't need to strive for it. Just stay open, stay grounded, stay aligned. And if you wish to keep walking this path hand in hand with messages like this one, this space will be here for you. Because here we don't just speak, we remember. We remember who we are, what we came for, and what's always been within us, waiting for the moment we were ready to see it. Your soul already knows the way. It just needed to hear it.